Greetings, fellow EverQuest players, and welcome back to another video. My name is Sarthin, and if you don't know already, I'm playing on an emulated server called the EZServer. It's a really awesome server, and if you're unfamiliar with the server and what it has to offer, I did make a guide series here where I showed off the different custom content that we have and a lot of explanation on how to level up and make custom spells and so forth. So just an idea for you to check these out, especially if you're a new player. Today I'm going to continue my EZServer series where I basically show off different useful tips, tricks, spells, techniques and stuff that may benefit you when you are playing on this custom server. Today I'm going to focus on spells. In the part 4 of the guide and showcase that I made last week, I also talked about and explained and showed how to make custom spells on our server. So this may be relevant, this video may be relevant for you to see if you're unfamiliar with this. But today I'll be talking more or less purely about the spells, both the custom and the non-custom ones, along with some useful disciplines, auras, and AA abilities. EverQuest is vast, and even though this is not like the live content today, there's still probably thousands of different spells to cover and disciplines and whatnot. So I will definitely not be able to cover everything in this video. And I will also most likely forget some pretty important spells or abilities that may benefit you when you're playing on the server. So I'm going to leave the comment section open for this video, and if you watch the video and you notice that something is missing, I would really appreciate if you mention it in the comment section, so we can make sure to get it on to wrap it up in a future video. So let's get this show going. I'll start off by talking a bit about some of the non-custom spells, and what I mean by that is basically the spells that are available to to more or less any EQ emulated server. Well, there are some differences, of course, but these are much like actually the live spells that you will be able to, on this server at least, you'll be able to scribe all these spells hailing an NPC, and it'll be the spells from level 1 to level 70. So I'm going to cover some of the more useful ones there first, and then I'll go over to the custom spells that we have made specifically for the EZServer after that. So we'll start off pretty easy. I'll start off by showing a spell that I really love to use back when I was playing live, actually. And here we have my wizard. I used to play wizard. I love playing wizards. Sadly, they are not very good on this server, or while they haven't been anyway, for well, yeah, I'd say since the beginning of the server. But they will receive more focus now in the coming months for sure. This will be it will be interesting to see how the wizards will develop in the coming tiers that will that are being worked on. So basically, well, I shouldn't say they're good at the end here. In Vision's Peak, they'll be good with this idol here that you'll get in here. So they'll be doing massive damage. But in future, I mean in previous tiers, they're not very good compared to most of the other classes. That'll be casters in general, actually, with the exception of the Necros. But anyways, I played a wizard, and I actually used this spell on live. It's called Eye of Zom, and basically what you do is you click the spell, cast the spell, and it'll summon an eye, and you can click on the eye, and you can go around and I'd say spectate the zone. The duration of the eye is I don't know. I think it varies from anywhere. I think it's a bit random, from anywhere from like 10 seconds to maybe 30. So this might come in handy in certain situations when you're playing on the server. Sometimes it is a bit buggy. So basically, I can move over to the mobs here, and they won't aggro me. And I can get a glimpse of the zone, and like I said, it can be useful in some situations on the server where you just want to sneak and peek without actually getting involved damage-wise. So yeah, so that's just a quick just because I love wizards and kind of, you know, there are some uses for this. It won't be it won't be something that you would have to rely on very much, but I just wanted to show it because, well, it's there, and I'm sure a few of you don't even know it exists. So, but let's move over to the clerics. The clerics are my favorite healers. They are, I'd say, probably the best single target healers on the server. And starting out when you get to level 70, which is when the server really starts and the game really starts here on EZServer, you'll have access to a healing spell called Words of Vivification, I think it's called. Yeah, there we have it. Words of Vivification, I think it's level 16, yeah, level 69 spell. It's a it's a group heal, and it has a pretty decent recast time on it as well. It's an instant cast and 4.5 seconds delay recast time on it. So this is quite a decent starting heal for the clerics. And you don't. This is a spell that you'll get when you hail the spell merchant, the spell NPC vendor in one of the cities. So this is not something that you need to farm off mobs or anything. So, or create it yourself. So this is one of the important spells that you would like to get from the beginning. You also would like to get Focus of Healing, which is a spell that is available to all casting classes, and all your healers should make sure that they include this in their buff macros from the start. And moving on, it'll receive an upgrade as well. I'll get back to that. So this is an important spell for sure in the beginning. And also, there is another one which is probably even, well, it is very nice as well. And this is a non-custom spell. It's Divine Intervention. And you can start casting this from level 60. So, I mean, even though you'll probably, if you follow the methods that I showed in the previous videos, it'll only take a few minutes once you get some high-level buffs to get to level 70. And once you do that and hail the NPC and get the spells trained, you can just memorize this. And this will be one of the buffs that you really want to cast on your tank. Because what it does is it throws Divine Intervention on your tank. So let me just pop back to my tank here just for a wee bit. I just need to see if no, it doesn't have it on. I do have a reward item that we'll just inspect it. This gives a divine save by 90%, so it's quite a lot better. But, you know, this is a free spell that you will get. You don't need to do anything other than getting to level 70 and hail the merchant, and then you can, you know, cast it on your tank. And once you've done that, you can see on the tank it has 15 minutes duration, and it increases divine save by 50%. So basically what that does is it gives you a chance to resurrect if you receive fatal damage. It does require something, I think, yeah, it requires the emeralds to cast, and they're not very expensive, as you can see here. So you can just buy a stack at the vendor. Make sure you have these on in your inventory, and make sure that you include them on either your buff macro, or maybe you just make a hotkey for it. So just like make a hotkey that says BCT heal me, and then Well, you have to include a target Sarthin PC. I'm just not going to write everything like this now, but you can check out Discord. We have the commands there, or you can ask in game. It's just going to take too long time if I do this for all the spells and stuff. But I've already covered this in previous videos, how I make these hotkeys. But just keep this spell on your tank, either as a part of your buff macro or as a hotkey that you broadcast your healer to target your tank and cast this spell. So it's super useful, and you can use this. Well, if you don't get the reward item at some point, you can use this, from the start and all the way up until you stop playing, really. So yeah, and this is a non-custom spell that is available without killing any mobs or anything. Also, there is a divine barrier, a self-divine aura, which you can cast only on yourself. There is a divine aura that you can cast on others as well, and I'll cover that when I get over to the AA abilities later on. But this is a self-cast only, and it'll make you invulnerable for about 30 seconds. And there may be some uses for this. Maybe you want to eat a death touch. There's some bosses, some named NPCs on this server that death touches or other dangerous stuff. So there is certainly some uses for this spell. As you can see right now, I'm not taking any damage. So I will eventually, but I'm just not gonna kill them right now, I think. So I'm just gonna move on to the next non-custom spells, and it'll be for the Necromancer class. So let's move over to our Necromancer here. And the first spell, one of the non-custom spells that you want to grab is this one, Epidemic, which is a spell that, well, I'm not sure if it's non-custom or not. I can't really say for sure, to be honest, but this is something that you also learn from the spell vendor at level 70. And I've also covered the use of this in a previous video, but basically what it does is when you throw a dot or many dots on an NPC, and then you finish up with casting Epidemic, it'll spread all those debuffs or dots to all the nearby NPCs that are surrounding the NPC that you're actually casting spells on. So get Epidemic as soon as possible. And also Death Piece. Death Piece is something you also want to use in conjunction with throwing dots and the Epidemic and the other dots here, because you want to make sure that your caster won't get killed. So Death Piece is also the Necromancer Feign Death, which is available from level 70. So you want to grab that as well. Also, a spell that I don't think I have it on my Necro because I don't normally use a pet anymore, but there is also a spell. It's a quest to complete that spell, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Defensive Boon. And what Defensive Boon does is it makes your pets tougher. It adds some more mitigation to your pet, and some more hit points and resists as well. I think you have to combine a few different essences to along with your class ink in your magic box. I think it is from Cubic to G minor essences, one of each, I think, and to create this spell. It's also described in the wiki, so you can get in there and read all about it if you want as well. So that I don't forget it, we also, as I have covered in previous videos, we have a wiki page with where all the custom spells are listed, and you will also find the recipes to make these spells in here in this table. So this will be a good resource for you when you're leveling up and looking through spells. Like, you can also click on them here and get some more information about it. Some spells have more information than others. I do also, I have also just one more thing that I wanted to say in general. I have made a document where I wrote down all these useful spells and abilities. So I will post a link to that text document in the comment section so that you can also download that one and keep it on your computer to look at for if you're looking for useful spells and you may have forgotten something. So keep that in mind and check out the description of the video. I think I will post a link there so you can grab the text document. So we're covered Necros then, and let's just move on to the Paladins. They don't really have too much of these. Obviously, they have the focus of healing, which you need to get, and nothing more really that I've found in the non-custom spells. They do have this Divine Aura, but it only lasts like 5-6 seconds, 7, 8, something like that. But that is also a possibility. You know, they have these Divine Aura, just like the clerics, only doesn't really last very long. And they have some useful AA abilities, but I'll get back to that a bit later. So let's just move on to the Shamans. The Shamans have at least 2 spells that I want to cover, and they will also be available from level 70. One of them is Ancestral Grudge, which is, it doesn't really last very long, only like 20 to 25 seconds or so. But it does add double damage attack 100% and flurry chance 100%. So it's a really nice but short buff. The only downside to this is that once you get the Cubic and you get your Ranger attack buff, they won't stack. But if you don't have a Ranger, this will be a very nice way to once in a while attach to your, maybe you can add it to your healing macro. There is a recast delay here and it doesn't really last too long, but you can tie it up to like this one here. You can do another like cast 8 cast 8 and it'll cast that spell as well. So you can do that once you get it, and it'll once in a while it'll add some more DPS to you. So if you spam this key here, it should also throw in the grudge here. So that's one way of doing it. I definitely don't want to keep it on now because it'll break my Ranger's buff. But if you don't have a Ranger, this is a good one. And also this one here, Champion, which you can start casting once you get to level 70. It adds some attack here, agility, strength, and stuff, and also some damage modifiers. So it's not very high, but it is what it is. It'll add some extra damage to your classes. So make sure you use this as well if you have a Shaman. And then we'll move on to the last class that I wanted to cover with these non-custom spells, and that would be let me just stop this first. That'll be the Bard, and the Bard has a non-custom spell here called Kazumi's Note of Preservation, and this is actually the same as Divine Aura. It'll make you invulnerable. The only difference is it's for your whole group. So casting this, it won't last as long as the Cleric's Divine Aura, but anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, I think. But it'll make your entire group invulnerable for that time. So this is, at least there might be some songs that might be useful. I don't know really. I haven't delved too deep into it, but this is the non-custom song that I've been finding useful, at least as I've played on the server. I think, yeah, well, oh, there was one more class I wanted to cover with the non-custom spells. The Mage, of course. The Mage, they have, on live, they have the Call of the Hero, which is also available from level 70. The Call of the Hero requires pearls, like on live. And these can be bought pretty cheap from the different vendors on the server. And it's really quick to cast. And as you can see here, I'm just summoning my wizard over here. And what's fun about this spell is you can actually target anyone, not even have to be grouped or raided, and you can summon them. So it's a great party trick. I've had some fun with that. So this is a good spell, and also it'll be useful for you if you don't have the reward items that summon your raid or your group. So I think that covers the non-custom spells that you can get from the beginning at level 70. So let's move on to the custom spells, and we'll jump straight into the first real custom zone, Cuic, and there are at least, I'd say 3, maybe 4 spells that I think is quite useful in there. One of them is the Bard's Song, Tempest Blade, which adds a damage proc to your group. So they'll deal some extra damage. So if you have a Bard, make sure you get that spell, Tempest Blade. It'll get upgraded. You'll be able to find higher ranks the further up you get. I have the version 5 here, Tempest Blade. So it'll definitely add some decent amount of damage to your crew. It also adds a lot of aggro. Well, potentially it could at least, so keep that in mind. But you also want to get the first attack buff for your ranger, if you have one. This is the Howl of the Huntmaster 3. As you can see, it adds attack and a higher chance to a double attack. And in Cuic, you'll get the rank 1. So make sure you get that if you have a ranger. Moving on to your Necromancer, you'll be able to get the first spell that you need to go through these spell quests to get the the different ranks of death spells. So let me just really quick introduce these death spells. There are 4 different dots that you need to collect, and once you've done that and completed a quest in the Caster's Guild, you'll receive these death spells. And what they do is they throw on several different dots just by casting this one spell. So you can use them in conjunction with the Epidemic and Incisor of the Unholy, for instance, and it'll spread a lot of dots to a lot of different mobs. So make sure you get the first spell. It's called Insinuations of Mori. And that is the first spell that you need to collect to start doing these the quests for these death spells. So Insinuations of Mori you definitely want, and you may want to pick up, if you have a paladin, which you should have, you want to pick up the Wave of Purity as well. It's a bit long recast delay on it, but it's an AoE group heal, and also in a built-in cure as well, I think. So that may be worth picking up and using. And I think that concludes the spells I find most important in Cuic. I will not focus too much on the mage damage spells and the wizard damage spells and the enchanter damage spells, basically because they're not very good. But if you run one of these classes, you can test out on your own. Just go through the spell list on EZServer, I mean the wiki here, for your class, and as you can see here, let me find the wizard down here. So you can see you have a few spells here, not too many damage spells here in the beginning, so you'll rely mostly on the spells that you will get earlier on in your spell book. But at some point you'll get some more spells. Oh, it wasn't sorted after class. I thought I... Alright, so here we have... Okay. It was a bit weird. So as you can see here, there are already some damage spells early on. So you can just go through these and test out these spells yourself. I cannot possibly go through...
You have lost your divine intervention.
Oh, have I? I cannot possibly go through all these spells and check them out. But take my word for it. Most of the caster damage spells are not very good at the lower tiers, really. Okay, so basically my 15 minutes were up with the divine intervention. That was what triggered it. Anyways, moving on to the next tier, Cassic Tool, Arthicrex. You'll find the mages that will have the first rank of Incinerating Aura, which is a damage heal that is super nice when you're leveling up new tunes. Moving on, you'll find a few very interesting spells for the Enchanter. I'm currently using both of them. One of them is the first rank of the Irrational Irritation. This is rank 2. And as you can see here, it increases the hate multiplier. So make sure, if you have an Enchanter, make sure you pick up that spell as well as the one called Masked Strength. Masked Strength, I always cast it on my... Oh, they don't have... Oh, okay, so here it is. This is rank 2. But you'll get rank 1 in Casting Tool or Arthicrax, and it'll decrease your hate multiplier. So it's the opposite of the Irrational Irritation. So make sure you get these as well, and this as well, and cast it on your DPS classes as you see fit. So definitely grab that for your Enchanter. The Cleric will get his or her first rank of the Tower of V. The Tower of V is, I'll show it here. I have rank 3 here currently. What it does is it increases your defensive rank. So throwing this on my tank, my tank will get higher defense, so it'll mitigate more damage. This is the final rank that we have currently, so it'll mitigate 10%. Well, it'll increase defense by 10%, and I think the first rank is like 3. It's kind of low, but it is what it is. I would get it, and I would use it on my tank, especially when I got some larger pulse. It'll help a bit, I'm sure. Also, moving to the druids, they'll get their first rank of where's my druid now? There we have him. Well, the druids will get their first rank of Skin of the Drake, so make sure you grab that as well. It's a spell you cast on your... you can normally just cast it on your tank, and once you've cast it, you'll see it here in the songs. It'll add a defensive proc, so anytime you're hit, you'll get healed. So it's quite nice, even at the earlier ranks. So make sure you grab that as well. You will also be able to get the Unholy Shackles, which is another spell which is required for the Death Quest spells for the Necromancer, so make sure you get that. You may also get the Yolp, which is an increased attack and heal percent and proc chance for your weapons, for your Paladin. So you may want to include that as well in your... by using your spells or hotkeys. So moving on to Plains of Dragons, I'll start by introducing a new spell for the clerics called Amplify Healing, which will increase your healing bonus even further. And this is a spell for the clerics, and you can just buy it from the Dragon Vendor at the Zone-In. So make sure you grab Amplifying Healing for your cleric. When it comes to the Shamans, they'll get their first real heal spell, custom heal spell. And also you may want to pick up their Form of the Ancient Spirit, which will decrease heal rate, and it'll increase mitigation if you're in need of that, but it's not super important. You may want to pick up the Bard's Tempest Blade number 2, rank 2. When it comes to the Druids, they'll start getting their regen spells. So we'll have the Ancient Druid Regeneration in Plains of Dragons. I think it's like 3-4k hit point regen. So, and that can be very nice versus all the dots in the zone that the dragons cast a lot of dots. So it'll help mitigate some of that damage. So that is actually a really useful spell. The Druids will also get their first hit point buff, Blessing of the Oak, which has 5% max hit point, some added hit points. And they also get an illusion here, which will add some melee mitigation and some decrease hate, I think. The Skin of the Drake rank 2 will also drop here, and you will also get a timeless pack regeneration, which you can use to throw on your entire group for increased hit point regen. Moving to the Shadow Knights, in Plains of Dragons, if you have a Shadow Knight, many people don't, but if you do, this is a really nice spell actually. I don't think too many are aware of this spell, but it does increase, in the end at least, when you're higher tiered, it'll increase your damage quite a bit actually. And the spell is called Call of the Void. I think it has 5 different. I think it has 5 different ranks. Let me just check. I have the last rank myself here. Cool. There we have it. Yeah, rank 5. So what this does is it increases spell damage by 750. And that is actually quite useful for these, because if you use the offensive augment here, it'll add quite a few millions of DPS. Well, at least I'm not sure how many. I haven't really parsed it yet, but it'll add quite a few million damage per proc on these, especially on this one. It'll be quite noticeable. For me, I think it was. I think I went this proc from. Normally, without the spell on, I think it procced for like 21 million, and then it went up to like 28 million with a Call of the Void on. So if you run a Shadow Knight, you basically want to include this in your buff macro. It does last for 4 hours, so it's not something that you need a separate hotkey for to refresh often. And also. There is another Shadow Knight spell that'll increase ranks of further up in tiers as well, and that is the Thirst of Muram. It can be beneficial. I guess I actually used it back when I started playing here, but that was back when Shadow Knights were super awesome as tanks as well. And I used it for the Thirst of Muram is like a life tap that also gives your group hit points. So I actually used it as healing. And damage. So yeah, I just wanted to mention it at least. In Plains of Dragons, you'll also get the Hungering Pyre, the Insinuations of Mori 2, and the Kiss of Korath. All 3 spells are needed for working on the Deathline quest spells. And you also get rank 2 of the Mage Damage Shield, Incinerating Aura, and you'll get upgraded your Irrational Irritation and Mask Strength as well to rank number 2. So I recommend getting those spells as well, the Enchanter spells. Moving to Halls of Honor, there's not that many spells. There are a few spells that drops there. That's I guess the Breath of Nature, the AoE group heal that shamans and group druids get, is something you definitely want to pick up if you run those classes, along with the Ancient Druid Regeneration rank 2. The enchanters get the Vampiric Thunder, which increases the magic damage, spell damage. So running an enchanter, that is definitely mandatory to either farm for or make yourself. In Plane of Air, for the clerics, you'll get the first real custom hit point buff called Armor of the Crab. So definitely get that to get your group increased hit points. There is also a spell called Exercise and Moss, and that is a group cure, and it may be worth it because there's some mobs up there that throw some nasty dots on you. I'm not really sure if it cures it or not. It's been so long since I was there killing stuff, but it may be worth it. So, and also the first real single target heal spell for the clerics drop there is called Overrated Healing, and that is a really quick single target heal spell. I have currently rank number 3 here, and as you can see here, it's I think, yeah, there we have it. So it's super fast. I don't think the rank 1 is just as fast, but it's almost anyway. It's really fast, that one as well. So make sure if you run clerics, which you should have at least one of, make sure that you pick up that spell as well. Moving on to the well, there's one more. Yeah, there's one more cleric spell. Yeah, the Tower of V rank 2, the one that adds 6%. It's rank 2 of this one. It adds like 5-6% defensive percent. So I'd grab that as well. And then moving on to druids, they'll get the upgrade for the hit points buff, Blessing of the Ancient Oak #2. And also they'll get, I think, pack regen, some more regen as well in there. Shadow Knights will get the Call of the Void rank 2, and Paladins will get a group heal and cure called Crab Two Shoes will heal you, which is also a spell that will get upgraded in ranks later on. You may also want to get Calder's Helping Hand, which is self-mitigation, and an upgrade to Yelp, which will increase your attack and healing percent. So also another spell that is quite beneficial up there is the Enchanter's Gift of Annihilation, which adds spell damage. So I played around a bit with this spell earlier on, and we do have some issues with a few items on the server right now that doesn't really make any sense. So for me, I had some issues getting any positive damage out of using Gift of Annihilation, but being max tiered, if you use it in conjunction with your Ultimate Charm 4, it'll actually increase your Vision's Peak wand damage. So it may be worth checking out if you are at that point in the game. When it comes to the Necros, you'll have some upgrades to the death spells, the dots, Hungering Pyre 2, Kiss of Korath 2, Unholy Shackles 2. Basically want to get those. And you'll also get your first Ranger spell that does the all skills damage modifier called Secret Ranger Secrets. There is another one upgrade to this one that drops in all common lands. The one in Plane of Air has 30% addition to all skills damage modifier, and in old commons it's 55%. But maybe the most, well, at least it used to be anyway, one of the most sought after spells that you could get up there was the Spirit of the Kraken, which is a shaman spell that you'll get in Airplane, and it'll cast a group damage proc, so all your tunes will deal some spell damage when they attack, melee attack. So that is definitely a really good spell that will also get upgraded in ranks later on in the tiers. And you will also get Acquittal of the Tribunal rank 2, which is a single target heal that you may want to use to patch heal your tank. And then moving on to the Abyss. You'll get an upgrade to Tempest Blade, which is the Bard song that adds damage, much like Kraken does. And you'll also get an upgrade to your Druid's Regen spell and Skin of the Drake, which is the heal buff that the Druids cast. And also, the Druids will get their Chlorobon, which is a single target heal spell. So you definitely want to add that as well. Your Shadow Knights get the Cloak of Anarchy, which is a damage mitigating and hit point buff, and also an upgrade to the Thirst of Muram if you want to go that route. Paladins get the Crusader Furies, which I recommend, and also the Wave of Purity rank 2, which is the group heal. But there is one spell here that I would like to show you that you can also get in the Abyss, and that is the Holy Blessing of Intervention. This is a self-cast divine save by 20%. It adds some defense as well. So you may wanna use this on yourself. You would obviously be better off casting this in terms of having a higher chance of surviving. But if you're taking some damage as well, this will mitigate. So it may be an idea to use this as well. I just wanted to mention it at least. It's not a bad spell. It's something that you may have use for when you're playing. So moving on, the Rangers will get their upgrade on the Howl of the Huntmaster. They'll get rank 2 of this spell here. I don't actually remember the stats exactly, but but it'll be something that you definitely want to grab if you have a ranger. The Necros will get another dot called the Incisor of the Unholy or something like that, which is a useful dot that you can spread with Epidemic. And also the enchanters will get Irrational Irritation rank 3. I can see now that I think I lack that spell on my enchanter. I definitely want to make that spell. I don't think I have it. I can see I have rank 2 memorized here at least. Maybe I have it, but if not, I'm definitely going to make that myself as well. Because that'll increase my tank's hate even more. So make sure you grab this if you have an enchanter. That is it for the Abyss, for the most useful spells in my opinion anyway. So moving to tier 6, Anguish. The Shamans will get another single target heal, Quiddle of the Tribunal, rank 2. It's a single target heal spell. And I'm not sure why I think I'm not quite sure if they dropped there or in airplane or both. It's a bit confusing, but yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. But I think they may drop already in airplane. But anyways, the Shadow Knights will also in Anguish get their Call of the Void rank 3. Mages will get their Incinerating Aura upgrade. And both the Shamans and the Mages will get the Malos Malignance rank 3. I haven't mentioned these in the previous tiers, but Malos Malignance will add a little bit of damage. It does seem a bit weird here, but I can confirm that it adds a bit of DPS when this debuff is thrown on an NPC. Your casters will deal a little bit more spell damage. It won't be a lot, but you can try it out, test it, parse it, see if you think it's worth it. So I just wanted to mention it. And there is, I think, a final upgrade to that Malos Malignance in tier 10, I think. So I just wanted to mention it here in case you wanna test it out and see if it will be worth it for you to use it. Necros will get another upgrade to Insinuations of Mori and Unholy Shackles, rank 3. And the Enchanters will get Mask Strength 3 in Anguish, which is the spell that reduces the aggro of the targeted group. Druids will get rank 3 of the Pack Regeneration, which is quite nice. And Clerics will get their final rank of Tower of V, which will add 10% melee mitigation. It's the same spell that I use here currently. I use it quite a lot actually. I use it when I do larger pulls. So basically using my key press 3 button here. I'll just mash it now and show you. So that'll add the Tower of V, which will, if I type stats, it'll show me that I now, okay, so I don't have my other, it should tell me that I have 89% Stonewall. The normal for a high level warrior is 79, so it adds 10% more, which will make you take less damage. So I recommend using that as well. It'll be the last rank that we have currently on the server. So I guess that is it for tier 6. So moving on to tier 7 and Loping Plains. I want to mention the Clerics upgrade to the Armor of the Crab, the hit point buff, which you want to get. Druids also get an upgrade to their hit point buff called Blessing of the Ancient Oak, rank 3. Shadow Knights get an upgrade to Call of the Void, rank 4. And the Necros get 3 new ranks for their dots, Hungering Pyre, Incisor of the Unholy, and Kiss of Korath. And also Shamans get their Spirit of the Kraken, rank 2, which is the group damage proc. So that is it for Loping Plains. And moving on to Temple of Vision, the Druids get an upgrade to their Druid regeneration, and also their Spirit of the Drake, which I think is the last, it's the last upgrade for this spell that we currently have, which is the buff you cast on your tank. So your tank will get some heals when taking damage. So it's really nice to cast once you do yeah, quite a decent sized pull. And yeah, the Shadow Knights get the Cloak of Anarchy rank 2, which is added some mitigation and hit points, and also another rank of Thirst of Mooram, which is you can use as a group heal. Paladins get an upgrade to the group heal and cure. Crab 2 Shoes will heal you too. And the Clerics will get, I guess that is the most important spell, I think, in Temple of Ishan. It's Overrated Healing, rank 2. So that is a single target heal spell. It's rank 2 of it. So definitely grab that, and it'll help keep your tank alive for sure. So then moving on to tier 9, which is all common lands. The Druids get another regeneration, rank 5 they'll get. And the Shadow Knights will get their last Call of the Void, which will add 750 spell damage actually. And Necromancers will get an upgrade to their Incisor of the Unholy Dot and Unholy Shackles rank 4, which is needed for the Death rank 4 spell. The last 3 spells you will get in tier 10. You will also get rank 2 of the Ranger's Secret Ranger Secrets, which is a self-damage boost, which you may want to include in your hotkeys. I think I have it here. Let me just show you real quick. So here we have it. This one drops in all common lands. I recommend this if you have a Ranger. It increases your skill damage modifier with all skills by 30%. So it actually adds quite a bit of decent damage. The Enchanters will also get their rank 2 of the Vampiric Thunder, which increases magic damage. So that is certainly a spell that you also want to get. So moving to tier 10, the Clerics will get a third upgrade to their Armor of the Crab hit point buff. The Paladins will get Crusader Fury rank 3, which is a small damage proc, and you may want to add that. I use it in my buff macro actually. Let me just see if I can find it. I can show it to you. Crusader Fury 3. Let me just see here. There we have it. So Crusader Fury 3. Let me just see here. There we have it. So it's an hour duration. So it adds a proc that does some damage. Paladins don't really do too much damage to begin with, but I would definitely include this in my buff macro if you have one, because at least it does some damage. It's not super nice, but it is what it is. It's better than nothing. I think it's worth casting for sure. And also in tier 10 you'll get the Wave of Purity rank 3 for your Paladins, which is the group heal that I explained. The Necromancers will get their last 3 rank 4 dots that they need for the Death rank 4 spell quest. Hungering Pyre, Incinerations of Mori, and Kiss of Koath rank 4. As I told you a bit ago, the Malos Malignance will have the rank 4 spell there for the Shamans and the Mages, if you want to use that, to increase your raid's spell damage a little bit. The Mages will also get an upgrade to their damage shield, Incinerating Aura rank 4. And the Druids will get Timeless Pack Regeneration rank 5, which is a group regen. So those are the spells I wanted to mention in tier 10. So moving on to sleepers. First off, Bards will get the rank 5 of Tempest Blade, the song with the group direct damage proc. Clerics will get an important spell called Amplify Healing rank 2, which will add 400% heal bonus. But they will also get a really nice single target heal spell. It's super fast. It's the one that I showed you just a while ago. It's Overrated Healing rank 3. So as you can see here, it's really super fast. I love using this spell. It really helps keep my tank alive. So you definitely want to grab that spell. The Druids will get an upgrade to their hit point buff and their regeneration. The Paladins will also get an upgrade to their group heal and cure, and they will also get an upgrade to their Yelp. I haven't I haven't actually made that one. I think it increases healing by 100%, so it is something. But it's not very long duration on that Yelp, I think. So yeah, I have the X version here. So it only lasts for 2 minutes. So I cannot really be, I cannot really be bothered with casting this. But you know, if you wanna, you know, put these in a hotkey or something, you can do that. I mean, I haven't done it. I'm not sure if it's worth it for me. But still, you should know about them. It's a possibility, and you can also get the previous ranks in earlier tiers as well if you want to. So moving on, the Rangers will get the rank 3 of the Howl of the Huntmaster, the attack buff and double attack chance. Mages will get an upgrade to their damage shield, rank 5 of Incinerating Aura. And Necromancers can get Incisor of the Unholy, new rank there. And the Enchanters will get a rank 4 of Masked Strength, which is the group aggro decrease. I think I need to get that one as well. I don't think I have that one. And also the Shamans get Spirit of the Kraken rank 3. So I definitely recommend getting that if you have a Shaman. So it'll be like the other Spirit of the Kraken spells. They'll add a damage proc to your group. So basically you can just set up a macro to target your one of your groups, cast this spell, and do a pause for like 8 seconds or so, and then switch to a new group leader and cast it against it. You can make a buff macro out of this to make sure all the characters are buffed with Spirit of the Kraken. Later on, when you get the Wings of the Angel quests and done, it'll add Spirit of the Kraken here already, as you can see. So I'm not using my I'm not using my Kraken macro now like I used to before, but because I have so many characters that just use this instead sometimes. But you know, it is a possibility. And then we have to finish off the custom spells by adding the spells in Vision's Peak. And in Vision's Peak, you have, first of all, you have, if you run a Shadow Knight, you'll get the Armor of the Cursed, which is down here. It'll increase a flurry chance, and it'll increase a lot of stuff, both offensively and defensively. So this is really a decent spell to get if you run a Shadow Knight. So I definitely recommend getting this. Also, the Cleric and the Shamans and the Druids, all these 3 classes get a spell in Vision's Peak, which is a group cure. So if you don't have these cure clicky reward items like I have here, then definitely you wanna make these spells for your casters. And also the Cleric will get a really nice, let me just bring it up here, a Holy Cataclysm, which is definitely a really nice spell. It's a targeted group heal, and it has massive healing damage, so it heals a lot of hit points. So this is a really good spell as well, especially if you don't have enough paladins to keep your group alive. This can contribute. Ooh, that was hard. This will contribute to give your group increased survivability. Along with this spell, you will also get some rain healing spell for your druid and your shaman, which I recommend you to get if you run those classes. It's a rain heal spell, which is super nice to help keep your entire raid alive, actually, because this can heal up to 36 characters at the same time. And you also have it on your shamans. They will also get one of these. It's, the spells are similar with the exception of the name. They work the same, they heal the same. So I think they heal the same at least. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, so that is all for the spells. Pretty sure I didn't cover all the spells that you may find useful, but I think I got most of them anyway, at least the spells that I found to be really useful. I've tested quite a few other spells as well, and I haven't really found too many new ones that I think is worth incorporating into my playing. So let's move on to just want to mention quickly the auras. I've been through I actually was made aware of these auras just recently. I went through them, and I think most of the auras are not really great, to be honest. So it's just most of them I wouldn't even consider using. So you can see here, this one adds. This is the enchanter one, which adds. Let me see how much it adds. Really, I don't really think it adds too much. Just a few mana per second. So most of these auras that I found was not very useful, but there are a few. One of them is the aura of rage for the berserkers. Let me just cast that and I'll show you. So this is this will fill my this will be for my entire group, and it'll increase critical damage by 20% with all skills. So this is definitely something that you want to incorporate into your. It's permanent, and this is a song. It's permanent, so you can basically just incorporate it to your buff macro. So that is my recommendation for that as well. Another one that you may want to be interested in, however not too powerful, is, I think I played around a bit with it on one of these. Yeah, the Holy Aura for the Paladins. It basically adds some more healing effectiveness, 3%. So it's not a lot. So I mean, I wanted to mention them, but they're not really super great. If you find any auras that you actually think is quite beneficial in terms of increased survivability or DPS that you will actually notice a bit, I'd be glad to hear about them. So I can see that the video is already quite long. Let's just move over to. I wanted to mention some of the disciplines and the auras real quick first. Before I wrap this up. So let me just go quickly through that first, and then we'll wrap this one up, and I may make another part later on to cover some more stuff if something else shows up. The disciplines that I use most, for the most part, are the ones that I have in my warrior. So I use mainly two different disciplines. One of them is the Furious discipline, which is also incorporated into some of the items that we have on the server. As you can see here, the click effect on my Retribution's Edge is Furious Discipline. So clicking this will add Furious Discipline, which will make me riposte the attacks that are incoming. I may also use it this way. And there is another discipline that I use quite a lot, and that is Savage Onslaught Discipline. Which will make all my critical hits crippling, I think it was. Let me just check that. I think it's a high level spell, so yeah, all my critical hits will become powerful crippling blows. And the good thing about that is, especially at my level, most of my, well, a lot of my melee damage is critical hits. So this will actually increase my DPS by a ton, and I can use it in conjunction with my gloves here that throws in rage, and they will increase my riposte by a few like 10,000. So I basically riposte all the attacks, and when I riposte, it'll do massive damage if you use it in conjunction with in combination with Savage Onslaught discipline. So that is one of the disciplines that I really find useful. When it comes to advanced AA abilities, I use mass group buff a lot, basically to make sure that all my entire raid gets my buffs. I use this for on many of my characters actually. Moving on to let me see here. I wanted to cover a few more, but those are the ones that I use for my for my warriors at least. And then let me see, we have one for the clerics here, the Divine Aura. That is an AA ability that you basically want to use, and I use this a lot. It throws Divine Aura on my tank. That's the wrong one. Here's my tank. So you can see now it has Divine Aura and is invulnerable for, yeah, normally around 20 seconds. So that is one of the really good AA abilities that I use quite a lot. So moving on to my Bard, I have two disciplines here that I use. I can show them real quick. This Death Dance. I haven't really gone into great depths parsing the differences here. Some of these don't last very long, and for the DPS parsers to become relevant, you have to use a few. You have to attack for a few minutes. So, but this 1,000 blades will greatly increase your chance to hit and increase damage, increase chance for critical hits. So while I haven't DPS tested these too much, I use them. And I like to believe that they add some damage. I will definitely be checking it out in the future. I think I'll give it a go at least on parsing some of this. I have the Warrior's Wrath on my Ranger here, causing your melee attacks to have a greater chance to hit, and critical hit rate goes up. So I use those as well. For my monks, I use the Fists of Wu. Here they increase the double attack. It's not by a whole lot. It's just 6%. So it's not something that I would recommend that you have. I'd say it's not a must-have, but no, I added them here. Inner Flame Discipline is quite a lot better actually. It adds a lot of damage to my melee attacks, so I would definitely add this to all my monks if I were you. And also the obvious Feign Death can come in handy in many situations. So that is one of the abilities I also want to keep up in case I need them. Moving over to my Berserkers again, I can see the Aura of Rage here going. I also have the Cry Havoc, which will put this song on my group, and it'll increase my critical melee by 50% for all skills. So this is actually quite nice. I throw this when I fight. I just push this button here and you'll see it up here. Actually, I just switched some. I need to fix my groups. I normally have a Berserker in my group that throws that discipline, the Cry Havoc. I also use this one. I've been meaning to check this one out actually, because it is a bit weird. In the description here it says decreases melee attack, while in here on the battle cry it says that it will be increasing their attack. So I've been meaning to check this out and see if it's actually adding damage and not decreasing it. So keep that in mind as well. Moving on to my rogues, I have two different ones here. The main one, the one that I really like, is the one that makes me backstab more often. Let me see which one that was. Is it twisting? Let me just, I forget. The Frenzied Stabbing, yeah. So the Frenzied Stabbing is the one that I really like. Backstab is the one ability on this server that adds the highest amount of damage. Some of the mobs around on this server you can backstab for like 170 million, and you can triple backstab. So being able to backstab more often. Let me just see here. It's normally a 5-second. Can I actually backstab here just to test? It's normally a 5-second delay recast time. So it'll have 5 seconds. But using the Frenzied Stabbing discipline, we'll see the changes here. So it'll just have 2.5 seconds. So using this on all your rogues will be super nice, and I really recommend adding it to one of your key press hotkeys or something. So yeah, that is. Let me just check out the twisting one as well here. Let me just see what that was. Twist. Yeah. So that increases your chance to hit, chance to crit, and your chance to dual wield and double attack. So yeah, I haven't tested this one out too much, the twisted chance discipline, but I mean to do that in the future. But the frenzy stabbing is definitely something that I would recommend you to get. So I think that covers it more or less. I'm pretty sure I've forgotten some stuff here, but I may get back to it in a later video. But I think for the most part I've covered the spells that I find most useful, and some of the disciplines as well as a few AA activated abilities. I haven't gone through everything yet. There are quite a few things that may be interesting to test out, and I may go ahead and do that eventually and make another video. But before I end this, I would just wanted to thank you for watching. I know this was a long video, and as I said, if you want to do the too long to read route, you can just check out the document that I'll be posting in the description of this video. And you may also leave some comments, some relevant comments in case you notice that I've forgotten some really important spells. As you can see here, there are a few spells that I haven't covered. That is the ones that are activated by different items or epic augments on the server. So I'm not going to go through all these now, but basically some of the items will also throw buffs on you. The most important ones for a tank are the epic augment click, which will add a defensive stat to you, and also the shield of the ages, and your ultimate armor helm, which will add this mitigation buff here. I can't seem to open it up right now, but it adds some mitigation to you as well. So that is it, I think, for this video. Here you can see I showed these. This is not necessary. All right, I think that's it for now. So I'm going to wrap this up now. And yeah, like I said, just leave some comments if there's something you noticed that I've forgotten. And I may be back soon with another video covering more stuff. Maybe some of the important items that I just quickly showed you right now. So yes, that is it for now. Stay safe and thanks for watching.